So, um, before we get started, I'm going to play a quick introductory video, but I do want to um, do a quick icebreaker as well. While you're all entering your names, your agency, and your email into the chat for attendance purposes, can you also answer this question? It's a multiple choice question. A, are you mentoring now? B, are you a mentoring practitioner with a mentoring program or a staff member? And C would be both. And I think I need somebody, Miss Brianna, if you can mute, thank you. And or D, that you're hoping to start mentoring soon. So make sure you're putting your name, your agency, and your email into the chat and the answer to the icebreaker question. So we've got a lot of both. That's great. A lot of yes, I'm mentoring. It's a mixed bag here. I'm glad to hear that. And that is what this this series, this training series that we're looking forward to, that's probably going to cover over a year now, because there's 12 sessions in it besides this introduction. The first session is going to start in August, but we will talk about that later on. But thank you everybody for signing into the chat. I appreciate all your information. Currently mentors, mental health specialists.
And then
Hi, Greg. How are you?
Fine. How about you?
I'm good. Good to hear your voice, sir. So I am going to start showing the video that is part of this introduction, actually. Where did it go? Actually, presenter view. Oh, that's gonna hide my notes. That's not a good thing. Okay, if I go here, do you see the note part, or are you just seeing the big screen?
Just the big screen.
Oh, awesome.
No notes.
Just the big screen.
Okay, great. So as you can see, this is our introduction and series kickoff to a 12-session training series that was developed by the National Mentoring Partnership. They just launched this resource. And I will play now the introductory video for you.
Becoming a Better Mentor: Strategies to Be There for Young People was developed with you, the mentor, in mind. The role of mentor is a very special one. Mentors have come in many forms: as wise elders, as part of extended family networks, as spiritual leaders, as teachers and coaches, and as everyday citizens who simply want to offer a helping hand. We all need mentors throughout our lives, and regardless of how long you have been mentoring, we designed this resource to help you be an even better mentor than you already are. The information will help you fill your mentoring toolbox with the skills and attitudes that can help a young person, also known as a mentee or protege, in mentoring relationships, on their journey. Because every mentoring relationship is unique, you likely won't apply all of these skills to every relationship, but the topics highlighted are the ones that research suggests are extremely valuable in a wide variety of mentoring contexts. The introduction chapter in Becoming a Better Mentor offers foundational information, such as a brief overview of youth development, so that you can understand how your role might change based on the mentee's age. It covers some basic information about how mentoring relationships tend to progress over time and common sticking points you can avoid. It also describes what a mentoring mindset is and why having it is important. Your work as a mentor is grounded in love and caring, and it shows that you have a purpose beyond your own life and a desire to make the world a better place. We encourage you to embrace that idea and make it part of your identity. You are a mentor. That means a lot, especially at this moment in time. And you will always have something to offer young people if you bring a mentoring mindset to your relationships and practice a few of the skills highlighted in Becoming a Better Mentor. So, check out all the chapters, the animations, and the audiobook, and good luck on your mentoring journey. See the full resource at mentoring.org/bettermentor for more tips on how you can be a better mentor.
Okay. So that is the introductory video. Each session is going to have a short little video along with it. So Mentor National's new resource, Becoming a Better Mentor, explores 12 topics that are central to building strong relationships with young people and provides mentors with actionable ways to support youth. We really hope that this resource is going to help you and other caring adults adopt a true mentoring mindset and build your skills for supporting young people. Much of the work that Mentor has focused on over the years has been helping mentoring programs and the professionals who work in those spaces to help build their knowledge and improve their services. And Mentor National's new resource, Becoming a Better Mentor, is exploring these two general topics. And so you might wonder how you can access this resource. We understand that, Mentor understands that everyone has a different learning style, and that different people enjoy engaging with material in different ways. So that's why they developed several different formats for this training series. There is a written resource that's available in a PDF form that you can download from their website. And it has all the information of all the research that they've done. The information that we're going through in these sessions are all taken from that resource, just not a word for word fashion, basically, because we would be here longer than an hour. But so if you're looking, if you're a mentor that's looking for actionable ways to support people's navigating today's complex world, this is the resource you want to start using, okay? They also have an audiobook that I believe they just launched that you can listen to while you're driving, whatever, because a lot of us like to listen to audiobooks as opposed to sitting and reading, because we can do it on the run, right? Also, they've developed these short little videos for each of the sessions that provide key highlights to each of the topics. And these are really quick, like most of them are like less than 2 minutes long. And they're really accessible that you can share these with other family, friends, colleagues, etc. There's also different infographics that you can download from their website. So if you have any newsletters or anything that you'd like to put those graphics into, or on your Facebook page, your social media, you can upload those onto your social media as well. And we will be going through the link. Actually, the link is like you saw on the video. It's mentoring.org/bettermentor. So I will be putting that into the chat, available for you later. And so what will you learn in this resource? Well, you're going to learn about several key aspects about being a mentor. This information is going to help you fill your mentoring toolbox with the skills and the attitudes that can help a young person, often referred to as a mentee, in these types of relationships, and how you can help them on their journey. Because every mentoring relationship is unique, you likely won't apply all of these skills to every relationship that you have with a young person. But the topics that are highlighted in this resource are the ones that research suggests are really valuable in a wide variety of mentoring contexts. So today what we're going to talk to is what the mindsets and attitudes that lay the foundation for a strong mentoring relationship are, basic information about youth development and the typical relationship cycle you might experience while you're mentoring, and the critical skills and competencies you may need to grow and refine so that you can meet the needs of the young people in your life. And I'm going to be going through these rather quickly, but if you do have a question, just feel free to put it in the chat, and I will have Miss Hillary or Miss Zaneta watch the chat for me. Since I'm sharing the screen, I don't really have good access to the chat right now. Or you can unmute yourself and just ask your question right then. So we're going to look at how we adopt a foundational mentoring mindset right now. Not sure how many of you have heard of this, but a mentoring mindset is a way of thinking and interacting that places young people at the center of the relationship and allows mentors to be, those true partners in that young person's journey. So while the later sections of this resource are going to highlight a number of skills and strategies that research suggests are important to mentoring relationships, there's also a lot of critical attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors that serve as the foundation of being an effective mentor. And it may be helpful to think of these as contributing to a mentoring mindset, which I just mentioned. That way of thinking and interacting that places young people at the center of your work. And you want to take time, you want to be able to take time to reflect on the different components of a mentoring mindset described in the resource, and do an honest assessment of whether and how these beliefs and principles show up in the work that you do with young children, with young people. And it may be challenging to be the impactful mentor you'd like to be if you're struggling to bring these types of core values into your relationship. You really want to think of them as the foundation that you build on in this role. And there are 4 main components to having this mentoring mindset. So first, you want to make sure that you're always prioritizing the youth's needs, okay? Though you may get a lot of the experience of, a lot out of the experience of being a mentor, the aim is to support youth by keeping their needs at the top of your mind. And this resource is going to go more in depth on this in chapter 8, further down the road. So number 2, you want to have a positive and respectful view of youth and their families. And this work is, it's not about fixing or saving or having all the answers. We're not their saviors, right? Although there is space to bring your story and skills and resources and expertise into the relationship in the way that you can support the youth, it is important to provide this support without any judgment, okay? And chapter 7 is going to look more into that area. Also, you're going to want to honor the young person's full self by recognizing and appreciating the youth's culture, their identity, their life experiences and trauma that they've experienced. And they all contribute on how the youth sees the world and themselves. You don't want to make the youth have to fit your worldview or disregard things that they feel make them whole or a complete person. And they're going to be looking more in depth with this in chapter 2 about how to honor the youth's identity. And all of these 3 areas are under the first section of the mentoring mindset, which is to be intentional, okay? Or that I see you, right? So moving on, any questions on that? Okay, so the second area is to be supportive, or the I got you, right? You want to commit fully to this relationship. It's very important to commit and follow through on being there for the youth. And you don't want to be backing out even when the role becomes challenging. And believe me, it's probably going to become challenging for many of our relationships. You want to be consistent and curious. You want to be checking in and communicating regularly and really being fully present when you're interacting with the youth. That is essential, nothing can just totally bring a meeting to a screeching halt quicker than you scanning your email while you're supposed to be having a meeting with your youth, right? So just be mindful of there, be fully engaged. And can everybody make sure that they are muted? Thank you.
Se han inscrito para las clases. Primero quiero que me digan si me escuchan bien ahí.
I'm not sure who's not muted.
Somebody speaking in Spanish. Por favor,
Yeah.
ponga su audífono en silencio, que lo podemos escuchar. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Mrs. Nada. So 1, you commit fully to the relationship. 2, you want to be authentic and honest, okay? You want to make sure you're
Así que
acting
en
with
este vivo
integrity.
creo que lo voy a dejar guardado.
You just
Okay.
manually mute them.
Quiero compartir con ustedes hoy.
Just a second, I'm going to try and see
Yeah, I think you can mute them, Doreen.
who it is.
Doreen, if
think-
you want to make me co-host, then I can manage that.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do that for both of you.
Esta muchacha,
Yeah.
esa me cambia. Y me gusta su pues, que acá tenía.
Okay,
Ya,
and what happened with Hillary?
Eso estoy afuera. Trabajo,
Hmm.
dice el papá.
Sorry, I didn't click it on there. Okay. So, the second is to be authentic and honest, okay? You want to make sure that you're acting with integrity, and there's no room for coercion or deceit when you're working with a young person. You are enough within this relationship and you can do it. You just need to be yourself, share your story and your life lessons. You just remember that anyone that you mentor deserves to hear your truth and get your respect and see your real self, okay? So the third part is to do no harm. And this is big, okay? Above all else, you want to leave this young person at least as well as you found them. And this is the most important foundational element in any mentoring relationship. Although mentors can do great good for young people, those who are inconsistent or disappear when things get tough can also do great harm to these youth. And it's important to create a safe and healthy space for them through boundary setting, through appropriate disclosure, respecting privacy and confidentiality, and following through on promises to let the young person know that you're always going to be, that they're always going to be safe in your presence and your interactions with you, and that you will not let them down. Okay. So the third is to take a developmental approach, or I'm here to help you grow. Okay. You want to, first of all, consider a goal orientation. If the young person has shared concrete goals and aspirations with you, place them at the center of your relationship and think about how you might be able to leverage your skills, your knowledge, or your network connections to really be able to strategically support them in their journey. And if they haven't set any goals, that's okay. You know, not everybody knows, you know, in the 6th grade that they, you know, definitely want to be a doctor, right? Or a veterinarian, like I told myself I was going to be, and I ended up being a social worker. Okay. So it's okay to not have those goals set yet. It's fine if your relationship simply provides things like emotional support and love, hopefulness, and a sense of identity with them. And there's going to be more information on goal setting coming up in chapter 10. Also, you want to honor and strengthen the youth's web of support. And you are the only person contributing to a web of supportive relationships for the young person you're working with. I don't know if I agree. I think there's a lot of people that are actually uh, helping with that. But this web can include the guardians, the family, their peers and near peers, their coaches, supervisors, their teachers, etc. Right? You want to take time to get to know and work with other caring adults that are connected with this youth, just so you can help develop that web of support, introduce some of your connections into that web that maybe you know, it's not your forte to help with college applications or financial aid, right? But you know somebody, a friend of yours or a colleague from Cal State that would gladly come talk to your youth to help them with a FAFSA application, for example. So more of this is going to be discussed in chapter 7. You also want to take a critical mentoring approach with your youth. You know, young people, they know that they occupy a world full of challenges, right? And they need your help in navigating through those challenges, learning to question and understand the world that's around them, and really develop their own identity of who they are as a person, right? What things are really important to them. And that's just a part of critical mentoring. And more on that is going to be discussed in chapter 9. And that's some really good information. We've offered a critical mentoring training before in the past. And one of our close mentoring programs within the task force, Youth Mentoring Action Network, is very vested in that form of mentoring. In fact, their executive director, Dr. Tori Wieston-Surden, has written a book on critical mentoring that is world known. She talks to folks across the globe regarding critical mentoring. And so also the third, you need to be willing to grow and learn, right? This isn't just a situation where the youth is going to grow and learn, but each of us as mentors are, I guarantee you, you are going to grow and learn as a person through this experience, but only if they are willing to open up to new experiences and ideas, right? We all grow through these experiences. You may find that you're gaining as much from being in the young person's community and their circle of support as they are in yours. And you want to be sure to seek out additional resources, new tools, and different programs in their community that are going to further support your relationship with the youth. So any questions on that so far? So the fourth area that we're going to look at is of having a mentoring mindset is be communal, or we're in this together, right? You want to look at how you can leverage community resources and different role models, and how we can, you know, you need to develop within yourself how you can look for resources, the role models your youth needs, and opportunities in both of your different communities that can support your relationship and the goal of your mentee. And more of that's going to be talked about in chapter 12. Also, you want to make sure that you exhibit care about all young people's circumstances. Whether you're mentoring for a season or for a lifetime, mentoring mindsets can strengthen your interactions and relationships because it's oriented towards thinking about and acting on what's best for the youth, right? It involves not only caring about individual young people you meet, but also contributing to the policies, the practices, and the contexts that allow young people to thrive wherever they live, work, play, and learn, right? We want to make sure that we are not only being an advocate and a mentor for the youth that we uh, are connected with in that relationship, but to be an advocate for all of our youth, right? So the next thing that we're going to touch upon is, and we're halfway through our hour already, is mentoring relationships 101, right? So a basic understanding of child adolescent development is helpful. And that goes through early elementary school, late elementary school and middle school, and late middle school and high school. Now, besides having your mentoring mindset, you really need to know how to work, right, with kids of different ages. And some basic principles that we're going to cover in this area are based on how mentoring relationships tend to develop over time. A basic understanding of child and adolescent development is helpful, although every child's development is somewhat unique and youth will enter and exit the stages of development at different ages. All youth have distinct needs and challenges as they get older, right? So if you're working with youth that are in early elementary school, you know, they are kiddos that are just beginning to explore that social world around them that's outside of their families. And they're kind of, you know, standing there in awe, right, of everything that they're encountering. They could occasionally struggle with managing their emotions and behaviors, and they tend to be very self-focused, right? They can't see yet things fully from another person's perspective, and they have difficulty at times holding two-way conversations, right? They engage in activities that let you play alongside them. Um, and it's a great way to enjoy your time together when you're working on those type activities that are going to help you build people skills with them that are going to benefit them far into their future. And also young people at this age and stage are learning by doing, right? Rather than listening or reading, right? So if you're trying to explain something to them, they might not catch on, but if you show it to them, if you demonstrate it, that's when it's going to be more applicable to them. Now, for our kiddos in late elementary and middle school, this is where, you know, a lot of early adolescence starts to kick in, right? And the conversations that they have are becoming more two-sided now, right? Youth are gaining a sense of humor. I know that, I mean, I thought it was going to be a little further on, but my grandson that's going into 4th grade now. He is so onto this kick of dad jokes. It's crazy. Okay. He even got himself a year-long calendar for 2022 full of dad jokes. Every day on the calendar has a dad joke. So anytime I'm talking to him now, there's a dad joke involved. And he loves those. So anyway, so they're gaining their own sense of humor, and they're trying to be able to understand your sense of humor. They can think more abstractly. They can start working on making plans, focus their attention for longer periods of time. But they are hitting adolescence, so they can also be emotional and argumentative. And as their peers gain more importance in their life with them, they may worry about fitting in at school or in their community, in their different groups at church or what have you, right? And they're really trying to develop that sense of connection to their peer group and the larger community. So then we move on to our late middle school and high school kiddos. Now, if you're working with these this group of individuals, you probably recognize that during this stage, our youth are more comfortable about being on their own in the community without their family, right? Their youth peers take on an even bigger role in their lives, and adults may not be sought after as they were, you know, at earlier ages, right? Particularly if their peers are around them, right? Chances are that they, the youth that you're working with may not think you're, oh my goodness, may not think you're cool anymore at this stage, right? But they may value your guidance more than ever. They might just, you know, do it on the download with you, right? Youth may start to be attracted to other youth, and you may see your mentee less often as they get more involved with their peers and in school. And of course, their use of social media is also likely increasing. So your communication may begin to shift to online outlets. So you may be doing more texting and stuff like that, as opposed to meeting in person. And chapter 5 further on in our resource is going to talk about tips on how to engage your mentee online more effectively. So next on Mentoring Relationships 101, we know that mentoring relationships also have their own stages of development, right? Each mentoring relationship, we start with the relationship formation. And in this phase, you and your mentee are getting to know each other, beginning to understand what both of you enjoy, what your personalities are like, those sorts of things. And you're just, you know, developing that early relationship. Then moving on is the relationship building and maintenance. And most of the resources that are in this resource are devoted to this middle phase of your relationship. And it's going to help you build and sustain a positive and meaningful relationship with your mentee. So you can see there's several facets of this relationship building and maintenance area. You want to make sure that you are allowing the youth to lead first and foremost, right? When we discuss the mentoring mindset, it's your job to guide and support them, but not to boss them around. And the best mentors combine practical helps on goals. Okay. You want to set appropriate boundaries as needed. No two mentoring relationships are alike, and each of you are going to need to find that right balance and how to interact with each other. And although you should share power in the relationship, it doesn't mean you can't have boundaries as to how and when you engage and how you both hold each other accountable. Number 3 would be consistent, right? We've touched upon this already. While there may be times that your mentee needs more support with you, from you, than at other times, they will certainly value your being consistent and reliable in your communication and interactions. You need to expect ups and downs in the relationship. All mentoring relationships go through this process, and you really need to expect that, it's just like working with your own children or with your own relationships in your life. You need to expect that occasionally there's going to be conflict or a disconnection of sorts. And you need to remember that the youth, often doesn't express how meaningful the relationships are to them, like in a verbal manner, right? They may be very quiet, but you probably are the most meaningful relationship they might have right now outside of their family. So expect those ups and downs. You also want to assume that the relationship is going to develop and change over time, right? The needs of your youth can shift over time, especially as they get older and they can engage in more complex thinking and activities. You want to know the limitations of your role as their mentor and temper those expectations, right? Mentors can't, okay? They can't, and they shouldn't try to alleviate every problem that a young person faces. Mentoring can transform a youth's life, but even if not transformative, for most youth, another caring adult who can help them learn about themselves and the world around them is enough to positively, I should say, affect their lives. And the last one there is to practice self-care, right? We have to take care of ourselves. We can't give from an empty glass, right? The old analogy about being on the airplane, you want to put your mask on first before you put another's mask on that you're helping, right? It can be hard for a mentor to understand this, that that our mentees are going to be okay. We need to be okay first. We can't drain our own batteries without replenishing them to help them along their path. And we aren't alone in this either. We can ask for help when we need it. We can get advice from other mentors and from your own mentors. And be clear, both yourself and your mentee, with each of you, that you can't, about those things. Sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. Be clear about what you can and can't give to the relationship. But whatever you do, don't give up on the relationship because you burned yourself out unnecessarily, right? And the third piece of the relationship is ending that mentoring relationship. Now, mentoring relationships can end for many different reasons, and some end because they were on a time limited component of a program, or because the mentee gained what was intended from the relationship already. Others end because something has changed in the mentor or the mentee's life. For example, if one of you moved away, or a different change in life circumstances, right? And still other relationships end because the relationship just didn't provide the mentor or the youth what is needed to maintain a relationship over time. Not all mentoring relationships are going to click in the way that we hoped they are, you know? And that's why it's really important to not be doing this on your own. Be always seeking out other mentors, seeking out other supports from other folks that can give you advice in these areas. And in cases where you need to end the relationship, it's really important to let both your mentee and their family know that you need to end the relationship and why. Okay. You do not want to be just falling off the radar, right? Ghosting them, basically. You want to make sure that you let them know what's going on, why it's going on, and try to direct them to where they could seek out more support. So, also today, we want to address a little bit about the importance of mentor confidence. Okay. There's a couple different scenarios that folks see. Research has shown that many mentors, they don't quite listen as well maybe as they should or could to the needs of the young person that they're working with. They often miss signs and little clues about what's going on with the youth, what's important, what they want to do, and or they have a really stubborn approach on how to best interact with the youth, right? Whereas the youth might say they want to do something this way. No, my way, it's my way or the highway, right? This type of mentor is called the overconfident mentor, the one that's not going to bend, not going to really look at the needs or wants of the youth because they are the mentor, right? But alternatively, there's also mentors out there who are lacking in confidence, right? They tend to doubt their abilities to help, and they feel overwhelmed whenever they hit a rough patch or they need to rethink an approach. They feel like they're just not doing any good for this youth. And those are those mentors that are lacking in confidence. Unfortunately, research also suggests that both of these types of mentors are more likely to quit their mentoring relationships early, often suddenly, that leave the youth not only without support, but feeling like, you know, hey, was it my fault that she just stopped wanting to hang around me? You know, so they're blaming themselves. So a mentor can shift from a very positive presence in a youth's life to yet another adult who has let them down or done them harm. And we do not want that with our mentoring relationships. So your goal, both in reading this resource and beyond, is to gain enough knowledge that you feel like you can step up and do this kind of work with a young person, but at the same time, ensure that you enter your relationship understanding that you don't have all the answers, right? And that you will need to learn and grow along with your mentee. So that is what your goal should be, to be open and grow, right? So next up, we want to talk about, you know, how are you going to be able to use the remaining content of this resource? And we are slowly ticking away. I'm going to have to go quickly. So it is divided up into two categories, these sessions. The first half of the sessions are focused on relationship building practices, and the second half are on practices for supporting youth. And I'm going to go on because we don't have that much time left. So I always ask folks this with our trainings. Are you a mentor? Do you believe that you're a mentor, right? Mentoring comes in many different forms. Research has shown that 70% of our young people report having had a mentor, which means, of course, that's 30% that have never had a mentor as a youth or even into their adulthood. Now, the majority of these relationships we've found are through what might be considered or called natural relationships or spontaneous mentoring, right? And these are, you know, relationships that are made with the youth's aunts and uncles, their teachers, coaches, neighbors, co-workers, and bosses, other people in their community, their youth leaders in their churches, those that, you know, they aren't part of a structured curriculum program or anything or any kind of process. They just develop those mentoring interactions that folks would do within a program just in their everyday lives, okay? So a lot of the majority of our relationships are set on those paths. But youth in our nation also have access to millions of mentors that are through mentoring programs. In fact, you might be a volunteer in one of those programs right now, right? And if so, you might be wondering how this resource applies to the work that you are doing in that particular program. Well, the information in this program can help further expand your mentoring abilities and may come in handy with other relationships in your life, either now or in the near future. And if you have questions about how a skill or concept in this resource applies to your mentoring that's being done in a program setting, like with Big Brothers Big Sisters, for example, um, you can talk to your program support staff and see if what we suggest here with the National Mentoring Partnership, if this resource is something that matches up with all the information and goals that your program has. And at the same time, you should know that the skills discussed in this resource are widely believed to be applicable to a variety of mentoring settings and age ranges of youth. So whether it be one-on-one mentoring, whether it be group mentoring, peer mentoring, these resource sessions are going to have applications to you. So we are almost done, but I want to get through some of this more. There's key takeaways from this series. I'm not going to go through every one of these, but these are going to be brought up throughout the series on how mentors bring empathy and fun into the relationship, create opportunities, and expand webs of support, honoring youth voice and building critical consciousness, striving for cultural humility and respect, that mentors should avoid engaging in behaviors that are going to hurt the relationship. Mentoring is an activity that is both that is youth-centric and should do no harm, right? And the next, this slide shows you, this is just the titles of the 12 different sessions. Our first sessions that's going to start in August is going to cover emotional support and empathy. And you can see there's cultural humility, room for fun and play, attunement in mentoring relationships, understanding effective online communication, group interactions, working with others in a relationship system, honoring youth voice and building power, building critical consciousness and youth activism, goal setting and support, effective conversations about behavior change, and expanding networks of support. Now, as it was mentioned earlier on and in the video, you may not think that each of these are topics that might apply to your relationship, and that's fine. You are not required to go through every session, but the information is there. These sessions are going to be put on virtually online and being recorded. The access for all of the resources to this large resource is available to all of you to access the PDF versions and everything. And I'm going to be providing you with that information as well. And there's also additional reading and resources for today's information. These additional resources will be provided during every session, as well as I'm going to be providing the PowerPoints to you, so you'll have these handy to get access to. And next up, now I want to thank you right now for everyone that did attend today. If there's anybody that you know, any of your colleagues, family members, part of your email distribution list that you send out, if you'd like to get this pushed out to them if they weren't able to attend today. Please feel free to promote the next session, which is going to be on July 25th at the same time. Register through Eventbrite at the same with the same link. And then again, our first session will be on August 17th at the same time, 11 to noon. More information to come on that. And so if you are part of if you receive our What's Up in the Community email blasts once a week, you'll be getting all the information you need. This will be all provided to you within those email blasts. If you need to be signed up with that, feel free to contact us at Children's Network. Today's training survey, and I have it right here on this slide, and Miss Hillary, if you could put that into the chat, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm also going to send you all a follow-up email today with the copy of the PowerPoint and the training survey and all the resources regarding this this new opportunity that's being presented to you. And here is my contact information. Also, feel free to check out our new revamped, brought into the 2022 future, right? Our revamped Children's Network website. There's a lot of good information on this that features information about all of our staff and our programs. And just if you have any questions, just take a tour of that website as well. And with that said, I'm going to stop sharing. And again, I hope all of you were able to get yourselves signed into the chat with your name and your agency and email, so we know that you were here. And I look forward to seeing you all at our first session that is going to be on August 17th. And again, get the word out. Anybody was on vacation or couldn't make it today, they can attend the one in July on the 25th. And before I go on though, did anybody have any questions? I know time, we're like 6 minutes
Yeah.
over.
I didn't have a question. However, we just actually, even as we speak, we just received a request to find out if anybody had any openings for mentees. So if you're looking for mentees, there is an opportunity to provide that service. So I think this would be a great forum to, share that information if you have openings. I know some agencies are overbooked right now or have people on wait list. And then others, on the other hand, are looking for mentees. So if you are one of those that are still looking for mentees, please reach out to Doreen so that we can forward that information to the agency that is currently looking for some. Thank you.
Thank you, Zenaida. And I see some folks, I see Alicia. I think it's that I need to get you on with your new email, see?
Okay.
Because I know your email's changed, but I have a feeling that it's still going to
The other
your
one.
school district email. Yes.
Okay.
So
I dropped my new email in the chat.
great.
Doreen, someone's asking if there's a certificate of completion for this.
There will be. I just have not put it together yet, but yes, I will send that out this afternoon with the follow-up email. And thank you for asking that question. So, so feel free to look. We'll be posting about these sessions on our Facebook page and within the What's Up in the Community email blasts and everything. So look forward to seeing you all in August and continuing on through the rest of the year with it. And thank you so much and have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.